Hey, this is that's a terrible start. Whatever. This is a Winchester model 1894. There's been over I think 6 million of these guns made. This one, according to the serial number, is in the 90,000s, so that put it in 1897 manufacture date. This particular one is chambered in 25-35, which is basically just a 30-30 neck down to 25 caliber, or about 6mm. It's one of the softer shooting guns from what I hear, but today I'm going to shoot it, and this is the first time it's been fired by anybody in my family, for over 40 years. In addition, this ammo, nearly impossible to find anymore. These particular rounds are probably the better part of 50 or 60 years old, so see if they load and fire. A little stiff. Probably should have practiced this before I was on camera. I believe this holds 7. We'll soon find out. Yep, 7 rounds. Chamber's just fine, and see how she goes. Actually, it seems to be pretty much spot on. Well, those all work just fine. Definitely a little warm. I agree, it's one of the softer shooting rounds I've ever fired. Still plenty accurate. Pretty good for a 125-year-old gun. Pretty neat. So a little more history now the shooting part's over. Supposedly this gun was used at the Ludlow Massacre in 1914 in Colorado. Don't know which side it was on. Part of the CF&I, Colorado Fuel and Iron Industry, or company. That's the history supposedly behind it. My grandpa bought it from a guy. There was 2 of them. This one is in the rougher shape. I don't know how we can see this with the sun on my back. But the metal is in great shape. The wood is pretty beat up. Pretty neat. I had a friend who's a gunsmith tear this apart. First time it's probably been torn apart in, at least 60 years, if not more, if ever. And some of the things he said is really unique for this to have a swivel, sling swivels on it. That was an additional option, as well as this tang sight, which I believe is a marbles sight, it's a rear aperture sight. So not only is it faster, but it's also more accurate than trying to use the buckhorns. Which this doesn't even look to be the original sight, I don't believe. It says smokeless 32 Winchester centerfire of 94. So I believe that's meant for a 32. What was it, 3240 or whatever that weird cartridge was. But yeah, it's a pretty cool gun. My grandpa he was scared to fire it for a long time. He's scared of it being too loose or something, so then my dad and his brothers got together, bought him a Marlin 336C, chambered in 30-30. A lot more common cartridge than a 25-35 is. It's a little bit better. You can take a little bit bigger game with it. 25-35, you're pretty limited to small deer and smaller. It is a soft shooting round, I'll admit that, even more than 30-30. Not that it's particularly a hard shooting round. But yeah, it's a nice little slim, handy, lightweight gun. I can see why people carried these back in the day. And going back to the massacre in 1914, about the time I was getting interested in this gun was also the same time I was learning in class, funny enough. And we don't know, like I said, we don't know which side of the conflict this gun was used on. It could have been both, for all we know. It might not even been there. But it certainly is old enough, being manufactured in 1897. and that happened in 1914. So I think it's some pretty cool history behind it, and it's pretty cool finally get to fire this old girl. Over a century older than I am. It's kind of neat. Alright, that'll be the end of the video. Still more.